Course Outcome 7. Explain the expectations of professionalism in Canada. Learning outcomes. Explain and apply active listening strategies. Model effective nonverbal behavior. Develop professionalism and etiquette skills. Compare and contrast professionalism in your home country to the expectations in Canada. Business etiquette around the world. Etiquette is a code of behavior for social interactions according to contemporary conventional norms within a society or group. The current economy encourages a multicultural workplace, and having a strong knowledge of business etiquette can differentiate you from others in a competitive job market, or simply enable you to be more confident in a variety of situations when you engage with foreign people. What to do? Depending on the location of the people you meet, be sure to use an appropriate communication style. Francophones are generally more indirect than Anglophones. Shake hands with everyone at the meeting upon arrival and departure. Academic titles are important in Quebec, so be sure to use them when referring to someone. What to avoid? If you are used to a communication style that is very direct, try to soften your tone so you don't appear threatening. Canadians are reluctant to discuss personal matters with business associates. Don't make exaggerated claims without having strong data to back it up. Each country has its own set of rules as to what is acceptable and what's not. If you want to conduct business around the world, be sure you are aware of the local conceptions. Canadian etiquette at work. Canadian workplaces may be different than what you are used to. Here are some of the things you need to be aware of at the interview and on the job. The interview. First impressions. Your first impression in the interview involves your smile, handshake, clothes, personal space, and scent. Many workplaces no longer want or allow employees to wear perfume or cologne because other people may have allergies or be sensitive to the smell. Generally, a daily shower is sufficient and welcome. Fibbing, lying. Of course, you want to have the best resume possible and give a good impression in your interview. But using false information about your work experience and educational credentials may get you fired. Viewed as untrustworthy and will not improve your self-esteem, even if you look a lot better on paper. Table manners. Some interviews occur over lunch. This is an opportunity for the interviewer to see you in another environment. It is not the best time for you to order the most expensive item or relax with a few drinks. If you aren't sure what to do and watching others isn't possible, eat with confidence. However, do not try to correct the interviewer's eating habits. In Canada, we wait until everyone is served before we begin eating. Don't receive phone calls. If you have forgotten to turn off your cell phone, turn it off when it rings and apologize. It is considered rude to answer a phone call when you are in an interview. Which chair do I sit on? Normally, you wait to be offered a chair when you come into the interview room. If this doesn't happen, ask where you should sit. Don't assume you know where they want you to sit. You might end up taking the boss's chair, which could be considered rude. Answering interview questions. An interview is your opportunity to sell yourself. Not answering a specific question will not help you in the interview. Normally, you will be given time to ask questions and/or add information that you think is relevant. Be sure to keep your answers focused and reasonably brief. Watch the interviewer's body language for clues on how you are doing. Thank you for the interview. It is expected that you send a short thank you note by email or mail after an interview. It is also a good way for you to add anything you forgot to say in the interview. Phone messages. It is a good idea to have a voicemail service on your phone so work or friends can leave you messages if you are unavailable. Your personal voicemail message should be clear and say nothing you would be embarrassed for your employer or grandmother to hear. Email names. If your email reflects your spirit and individuality but is not appropriate for everyone, it may be better to have two different email addresses. Some email addresses are fine for your friends but not appropriate for your work. Example, hottie_girl@mail.net. A more standard email address with a variation of your name is appropriate for your resume. Example, first.lastname@mail.net. Eye contact. When you talk to someone, looking them in the eye is considered respectful. If you have difficulty with this, imagine an eye in the middle of their forehead and speak to that. People will not be able to tell the difference. On the job. Proper introductions. It is expected that you will introduce the people you know to the people you are talking to. If your mind goes blank and you forget someone's name, apologize and ask to be reminded. It is important to know that someone's title is used with their last name only. Example, Joan Smith is Miss Smith and not Miss Joan. Appointments. If you have an appointment to meet someone or a group of people and you are unable to go, don't assume that you won't be missed. It is polite to let the person or people know that you cannot be there as soon as possible. Try to never be late for meetings, especially for interviews or your performance review. Mind your own business. Although it is usually best to be friendly with your co-workers, do not ask directly about sensitive topics such as personal health matters or sexuality unless they bring it up first. If a coworker shares details that make you uncomfortable, change the subject. Greeting coworkers. When you see your coworkers for the first time in the day, you will want to offer a greeting, such as good morning. It is not necessary after that to greet them every time you see them, although in some cultures it would seem rude not to. Dealing with other employees. It is best to maintain good relationships with employees at every level. If someone treats you badly, you can assume that they are having personal problems and forgive them. This is true the first time only. If the bad treatment continues, you might want to discuss it with the supervisor or human resource department, or learn more about workplace discrimination. Dealing with the boss. Bosses are generally treated a little more formally than others at your workplace. You may have to make appointments to discuss matters with your boss, while you can often drop by to speak to co-workers. Doors. It is polite to be aware if there is someone behind you and hold open the door for them so it does not close before they can enter or exit. Multicultural dealings. If you believe you will be dealing with people from another culture who require a different set of manners, you might want to do some research on what is expected. The internet makes this research very easy and may help you manage awkward or unfamiliar situations.
Professionalism can be characterized as a specific way of thinking and acting on the job. A good way to think of it is the AAA: accountability, attitude, and audience. Let's start with accountability. This is being reliable with an emphasis on quality, and it begins with punctuality. Being on time is the easiest way to demonstrate it, and it's the first thing others notice. Another accountability boost is providing updates. Any changes to what others expect from you require an update. If you're taking longer than expected to complete a deliverable, it needs to get communicated. Providing updates is also key to time management, which relies on how well you determine what tasks are high priority and focus on completing them first. Updating colleagues on your progress shows consideration for how your workflow impacts theirs. The more proactively you update others and priority-driven you are with your time management, the more accountable you'll seem. Next is attitude. This shows up in your behaviors and demeanor. Tact is what makes the difference between someone that accepts criticism gracefully versus defensively. Polite colleagues take time to ask people how they are and offer to help. They also say thank you and show appreciation rather than entitlement. You want to have a positive attitude. That means you don't dismiss your colleagues' ideas, and when your boss presents your next assignment, you show enthusiasm and a willingness to give it your all instead of stating how much work it's going to be. Remember to use your manners and treat people with respect. Convincing people that you're a professional depends on how your attitude shows up to work, a valuable skill linked to emotional intelligence. Audience refers to how the perceptions of others impacts your professional image. When it comes to their audience, professionals know the power of optics, which is the way a situation looks to others. This is why it's crucial to always put your audience first by paying attention to what you communicate and how you share it. Natalie Magnus, Associate Director Medical Affairs at Teva Pharmaceuticals, highlights the importance of keeping conversations appropriate.
What are the skills that an MSL or scientific director need? Well, I'm sure most of you have some of these or all of these skills. Obviously, good interpersonal skills, good verbal and written communication. Obviously, you're going to be dealing with physicians and other folks, other healthcare practitioners. So you need to ensure that you're communicating accurately and appropriately, that you can form good relationships so that your physicians will like to see you again. It's usually a very good sign.
Being appropriate means you steer clear of controversial topics, keep negative opinions of people and gossip to yourself, and don't overfocus on personal problems at work and become an oversharer. Remember, whether you're talking to colleagues or clients, your words impact how professional you appear to others. A big part of professionalism boils down to good judgment. When you combine the AAA, accountability, attitude, and audience, you create an expectation that you're a professional with good judgment. This is essential to employers because it assures them you'll react appropriately and make sound decisions when facing challenges. It won't always be easy. A client will test your patience, a colleague might annoy you, you'll make a mistake and be afraid of how your boss will react. How will you handle these situations as a professional?